Pathmark is the intelligent tool for website lead generation. With increasing online competition, over 98% of website visitors don't convert. The ability to successfully show your value proposition and support visitors in their buying journey separates you from the competition online. Pathmark qualifies and converts leads on your website by figuring out where they are in the buying journey and influencing them in key decision moments with relevant micro experiences like case studies, intro videos, and much more. Stay relevant to your visitors and increase conversions by 50%. Add Pathmark to your website in seconds. Let the AI do all the work and get access to 50% more qualified leads while you keep doing marketing and sales as usual. Check us on pathmark.com. Welcome to today's episode. Let's talk about today's guest. We have Michael Landry from the Influence Agency, Vice President of Strategy there with them. How are you doing today, Mike?
Doing great. Yourself?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for asking. And so I was mentioning before, great jersey there from Scotty Barnes. He looks like the future. So we'll see what happens with those Raptors.
Yeah, definitely. Anthony Edwards is looking pretty good out there too. And obviously your favorite guy, Wembanyama. That's gonna be one to watch over the next 15, 18 years.
Definitely. So awesome. Great there. And well, Mike, thank you so much for joining. I'm sure our listeners are tuning in, wondering what the Influence Agency is all about. So let's kick it off with that. Mike, in your own words, tell us a little bit more.
Sure. So when we first started the agency, we knew there would be a big opportunity due to the gap that was in the influencer marketing marketplace, right? So hence the Influence Agency was born. But it was going to take a little while to get it going, make sales, feed ourselves. So the one thing that we could get going fast was to create Consultants Digital, which was more SEM focused, more performance marketing focused. It was, it lent itself to the background that we had, which was in performance marketing, right? So, our company was about offering the full spectrum of marketing across two brands. You'd have your more social influencer marketing on the Influence Agency side, and again, your performance marketing on the consultant side. But after a little while, after I think about our 14th hire, there was a lot of confusion as to what is our identity. Are we consultants? Or are we the Influence Agency? Are we consultants or are we the Influence Agency? So we eventually just collapsed into one brand that is the Influence Agency. And so, if I could give you like the what would be on a slide deck would be the Influence Agency is a digital agency that focuses on 360-degree digital elevation. So covering everything from influencer marketing to web development to SEO or CRO. So we create an environment where, a brand can go to one partner for strategy and execution across all digital channels.
Definitely important. Okay, awesome. Thank you so much for sharing with us that, Mike. And so that way our listeners then could get a good understanding of the Influence Agency. Then what would you say is that key problem then that you guys like to solve for clients?
Well, every client has a little something different, right? I was in Torrey Pines for a Google Partners conference, and they were really preaching the idea of going after one vertical and offering one solution and sticking to it. And they were highlighting agencies that, for example, just did Google Ads and hardwood flooring, right? Just, lead generation just in that industry. And that's very different from what we do and how we're built. So kind of makes me think, are we doing it wrong? But, we actively pass on clients to directly conflict with clients that we already have. And we're out there competing across a multitude of different platforms. And again, every client is different. There isn't one thing we're solving. I understand it. Pathmark's case, that's definitely true. You guys are solving just for CRO, and there's a value adversity to that. But some customers come to us because they want more e-commerce sales. Some customers come to us because they want more phone calls, more leads. Some come to us because they want to move their television budget over to digital, and they want to be where the eyeballs are. They want consideration. So it is, we're not solving one problem out there, but we are trying to hit the goals of our customers as much as possible using the different digital tools that exist. So unfortunately, I can't give you like, this is the one thing that we do, because we do it all, and I can't even say people come to us exclusively to make more sales, although that is the majority of the case. I guess the case, and that's still advertising for as a whole, is make more sales, but sometimes it's awareness, sometimes it's social media, sometimes it's, again, creating really good conversion rates on sites. It just depends what they're after. So we don't solve one problem, we solve a lot of them.
Very important. Okay, awesome. So then, is there a certain vertical then segment that you guys like to go for? Is there an ideal ICP for you guys?
You know what? The kind of customer that I like is, or that we like, is one, the most important thing is where we know we can materially help them, where we know we can meet their expectation, and exceed it. So, we'll get people that come to us for influencer marketing, for, let's say, a spa in Toronto. Well, actually, they don't need influencer marketing for their spa in Toronto. What they actually need is, Facebook ads with a really well-defined radius, to a site that is well optimized, right? Both for conversion, but also for local SEO. So the right kind of client for us is one that we can really succeed with, the one that'll take our recommendations, and the one where it makes sense to pay the kind of fees that we charge, right? Like, our agency is not built for every kind of customer out there, right? So some customers would probably start off, a little bit differently than us. That wasn't always the case. When we first started, we just take on everything because we needed to pay ourselves. But customers that we like most are the ones that, when they get a customer, it's meaningful to them. It's someone that they can resell to, or it's a big enough ticket item. Of course, that isn't all of our clients, but that's a good general rule of thumb.
All right, important. Thank you so much for sharing that. So then, how would somebody then usually find out about the influence agency? Is there a top client acquisition channel for you, Mike?
Yeah, it's for sure. Agencies are funny, If you've heard, I don't know if you've heard the saying, the cobbler's kids have the worst shoes, or the maid's house is the messiest. And often advertising agencies don't advertise very well for themselves. And, we don't want to come across as a fat personal trainer. So we do what a lot of agencies don't, is we actually advertise for ourselves. And that means we rank. So if you were to type in influencer marketing, Toronto, Montreal, Los Angeles, New York, we're on the first page. We're actually one of the few companies out there that can do influencer marketing and SEO concurrently, right? So we market very well for ourselves. If you look at our social media, you won't find another agency that does social media for themselves as well as we do for ourselves. Well, of course, our clients get the best of us. There's no doubt about that. But at the end of the day, we wanted to be the marketing company that practiced what we preach to our clients. And that's what's enabled us to meet so many wonderful brands from all over the world, because they're online too, and they're looking, and we pop up.
Definitely important. Definitely agree with you on that, right? Got to preach what you say. So awesome to hear that from you guys there at the Influence Agency. And so that way our listeners then who are tuned in, Mike, can go ahead and visit you. They could always check you guys out at theinfluenceagency.com. What role does a website then play for client acquisition?
It's everything. Your website, well, it's not everything, but it's a lot of things, right? So your website, okay, so I sell websites too, right? So, and I explain it to people. So when we do a website, we start off around 40, 50 grand for a website. And people are like, oh, wow, that's a lot. That's not normally the reaction. Of course, there's people that are used to enterprise sites that cost more, but they're very shocked. They're like, oh, 40, 50 grand, it's just a website. And I'm like, no, it's not just a website. Your website is on 24/7. It never has a sick day. It doesn't say the wrong thing because its spouts yelled at them in the morning. Your website is perfect 100% of the time. It says exactly what you want it to say 100% of the time, 24/7. It's your best salesperson if you want it to be. It's often your first impression. And it can handle multiple people at once with varying needs all at the same time. So your website is such a pillar of your new business acquisition. So it's got to be the best it can be. So what does that mean? Well, it means making sure that it looks good. making sure that when people come to your website, they can find what they're looking for. It means being well optimized for paid media traffic that's going to go to it, so that people take the intended action that they want to take. And it also means being SEO friendly, so that you can actually rank it. Because if you have a website and you don't show up on the first page of Google, you may as well just hand out business cards. So the website is absolutely integral to the inbound strategy that we have here.
Definitely important. Okay, awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. And so on that note, then, is there any tools or tips or methods that you would recommend to our listeners as far as some website lead generation?
Well, it's a broad topic. It's a broad topic, man. Number one thing is you have to think first about where are your customers, right? So, for example, and let's say you have a new product, something groundbreaking, something amazing, something cool. Maybe you're getting it produced in China and you're bringing it over here. Google Ads won't be a very good strategy for you if people don't know what it is to even be looking for it. So in that case, you might think, well, let's do Facebook. Let's do a really good ad on Facebook, a really good ad on TikTok, where we can interrupt people, let the algorithm figure out who might be the most interested, and then display that, right? So, whenever you're doing any sort of online marketing, you really got to think about, where are my clients and what's the best way to get in front of them, right? Or I should say to your clients, your prospective clients. Where are they? What do they need to hear? How do you get in front of them? What kind of experience can you give them? And can you get to the point? Because there are so many people out there competing for attention. So I'd say, lead generation is a big topic, but start off with who your customers are, where they are, what they need to hear.
Definitely important. Some great advice there for our listeners. Thank you so much for that, Mike. And well, let's switch gears a little bit and let's talk about you as a leader. You being the VP of strategy there for the influence agency, Mike, what are some key tasks you like to focus on your day-to-day work?
You've heard this all before, but when you are a founder of an agency or founder of a business, you're doing a lot of things. The only thing that can keep me sane is my notebook that I have at the beginning of the day. I write down everything. Old school. I won't do it. A lot of people do it on their computer. I won't do it because if it's on a computer, it's in a tab, it's out of sight, out of mind. I like to have it very visible. And so, I'm normally doing one of three things, right? On a day-to-day, right? All my tasks can fit into one of these three buckets. One is I'm either working with my accounts team to help bring value to different clients. So that might be, chipping in on a script or a TikTok ad. It might be taking a look at, conversion data. Might be taking a look at how well Google Ads is performing and kind of helping them along to help my clients work the best, right? Because the better that they can be with their clients, the more time I can spend on the business than in the business. The number two thing is I work on finances. I'm blessed to have 3 other partners that handle other parts of the business, but I tend to handle our finances as well. So whether that's, influencer payments, payroll, commissions, rent, whatever it is, I work on all the finances. And the third thing, being VP of strategy, and again, trying to work on the business, is just forming partnerships with businesses that sometimes are complementary and sometimes even semi-competitive. You do want to make friends with people that even seemingly do the things that you do, because their market's always a little bit different. And, they always say, keep your friends close or your enemies closer. Well, I would say, keep all businesses close. It's a good practice to have, because it's a small world and a long life, and you can normally find ways to work with each other.
Definitely would agree. And then some great advice there, because I believe in that theory, because you never know exactly, 3-4 years down the line. That person that you spoke to today, like you, right, Mike? We might do a partnership at one point. So awesome to hear that from you.
Yeah, I think Path One offerings are really cool, right? At the end of the day, you didn't ask me this question, but on the topic of AI has the power to disrupt, but also has the power to enhance all industries, right? It just depends on what your mindset is and how you're going to approach it, right? So right now for my agency, when we approach CRO, we'll do an audit of the site. We'll come up with recommendations. We'll put on, the various different tools I'm not going to talk about here on your podcast out of respect to measure them. And, and then we iterate from there, right? But at some point, an AI like a Pathlook is going to do things for you in real time or faster, and do things that maybe a human wouldn't do, right? So I think AI is something where we're going to have to find ways to embrace it and use it. And, so when I come across Pathlook, I'm like, yeah, maybe it's competitive, but mostly I'm looking at it as something complementary, something that will enable us to do more with less time.
Definitely important. Okay, awesome. So some great knowledge there from you, Mike. And let's jump into our next section then here, Mike, which is our rapid fire question rounds. Are you ready for them?
No, but go for it.
All right, we'll see how they go. Easy. First off then is, what is the last book that you read, Mike?
So I literally, guys, I'm not a reader. I wish I could say to you guys, hey, I read about one book a week, which is really what I should be doing. And like, really think about it. You got, 30 years of people's professional lives wrapped up in 300 pages. What a treat that you can take the very best of it. So, not poo-pooing it, being honest, but the last book that I read was Traction by Gino Wickman. And I really highly recommend it because it gives you a great framework on how to build and manage a business. It's part of what's called the Entrepreneurial Operating System, EOS. And there's whole organizations dedicated towards helping businesses of all kinds implement basic principles, to enhance, accountability and control and vision within the business.
Okay, awesome. So great to hear that from you, Mike. Great to read there for our listeners.
Again, this Fraction by Gino Wickman. Trust me, it's sick. You'll like it.
All right, great read. Next then is, if there would be no boundaries in technology, what would be that one thing that you want to have fixed for your role as a marketer today?
Not to be a politician and not answer your question, but I like it when things become hard and create a lot of challenges. It's what makes an agency like mine worth going to. If SEO was easy, if social media was easy, and if web development was easy, if websites never broke, well, then there would be no place for us, right? So it's when things are a bit difficult, you look at that and you should embrace it as an opportunity to apply a special skill set, right? But that being said, if I could wave a magic wand and make life easier for all marketers, it would be some kind of AI that you plugged in and it gave you perfect attribution, reporting, and analysis. I cannot tell you how many times I look under the hood of a new prospect and they're not tracking conversions, or they're tracking things that don't make sense. And you look at their analytics, or especially their old universal analytics, and now you look at their GA4 and it's all Frankenstein. So I think the one thing that would be a universal help to everybody was just understanding what their efforts were driving for them, right? So really good analytics, really good measurement. That would be something that I think would be universally helpful and actually lead to more advertising, because then you know how to spend your advertising money better. So there's probably people out there that spend money, didn't know how it was working, stopped. That's not good for their business or for advertising in general. So yeah, that would be it.
Yeah.
A rapid fire. This is not rapid fire anymore. This is the long answers. But okay, so I'll try to be a little bit quick in the next one.
No, but it's great to hear it, right? Somebody with your expertise sharing that knowledge with us, really important. But lastly then, Mike, then is, you have a lot of very experience in the marketing world. What is that one piece of advice that you would give yourself if you were to restart your journey as a marketer today?
It would be, you're hiring smart people that are talented and hardworking. Let them be the problem solvers first. Trust them to solve the problems first. If they can't, then step in. but for the most part, just take your hands off the wheel a little bit and let the car drive itself.
Definitely some great advice there for a lot of leaders out there. So thank you so much for sharing that with us, Mike. And well, Mike, we are coming to the end of our show today, but before we do end, I do want to give you the last word. Say someone forgets everything about the interview today. What is that one thing they should remember about your company?
The influence agency truly can do it all. So even if you're not the right kind of client for us, or you're not sure, we still spend time with people that aren't the right clients for us, because we really are dedicated towards making sure that everyone who comes across us is better for having done so. So we'll always advise and point people in the right direction no matter what.
Well, you guys heard it. Check them out at theinfluenceagency.com. Mike, thank you so much for being on with us. To our listeners, thank you so much for tuning in. And I'm looking forward to our next episode at Path Monk Presents. Thanks a lot, Mike.
Thank you.